Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Legends of Arcadia Genesis. Our party, seeing the changing of the comets, heads into the forest. What better time to walk into the woods? Goddess of Tranquility has said, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." Where are you going?
All right.
Who's leading this parade?
I guess
I think Nyx is showing us hopefully where the magic shovel is.
Yeah,
Where
I'm a
where she
little
took
bit.
Manfred.
I'm a little bit reluctant because it feels like people are saying we're looking for the magic shovel, but it really feels more like people are accusing me of doing something kale, you know. So I guess she's like walking along the forest. We're not going really deeply in the forest. It's more like along the edge of the forest, and it's quite the hike, I like to say. So she goes to very covered areas, and it doesn't look like a clear path she's following. So it would be really hard to find this place if you didn't know exactly where you were going.
Well, on your way, can I get perception? Party, please.
We don't have perception.
Can I? Oh, you don't have
Oh,
perception.
yes.
Okay.
Nice, Ryan.
God
I mean-
damn it. Oh, nice.
But if we did have perception, how do you like them rolls?
+4.
I rolled a 4 in my stats, but it got
Oh,
dropped.
right.
It
Oh
dropped
my god, I
perception.
remember. I
What's
think
the
I would have
plan,
had a
Neal?
13 actually. Do we want to go back? Because we can.
You hear in the distance a ooh, ah, ooh, ah.
What it isn't good for, absolutely nothing.
That was good.
Sorry.
That was good. It's Saturday. Saturday, the New Zealand rugby team.
They're doing the haka.
Yeah, shit.
The haka isn't.
Unfortunate.
Does it sound like people oohing and awing, or does it sound animal? Like, does it sound like an ape or something?
No, it sounds like humanoid figures chanting rhythmically, and it is coming from south. I think you guys were headed sort of northwest.
South meaning out of the woods, or just
No,
deeper
south
South
into the
meaning
woods?
behind us, where we came from almost, right?
Yeah, you guys came from towards the west through the woods, and now you're starting to curve, and the sound is coming southward towards the river.
Should we check it out? If they're about to attack, we don't want to be caught wherever this Nyx is taking us and leave the village to burn.
I agree.
Wait, I'm not taking us to leave the village to burn. You guys said I was supposed to lead you.
Not now.
Do
Not
the
now.
shop.
Not now.
You
No, okay,
shop.
okay. I'll take it back. I'll take it back.
Okay.
Okay, I elbow June. All right, June, go on. Look and look.
Excellent. I make my way following the noise, doing my best to not step on too many twigs and underbrush. Like, I do my best moving silently attempt as a non-rogue.
Is June going alone?
Well, he elbowed me and said go, so I'm
Yeah.
assuming people will follow or not.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm waiting to let him go on his own, but I reluctantly
Okay.
come along when I see Isabel and Nyx follow along.
Well, I think Izuo is
More than qualified.
single-mindedly focused and oblivious, and I don't.
Nice.
I
Well, I'm
don't think
following.
They
I
heard
got you,
this,
Greg.
and
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'm just
Alright.
sneaking behind you because apparently I don't need to lead anymore, so I'm just going to follow now. That's fine. I can handle it. Gotta be
Brave
quiet though.
Sergej.
Would
Okay.
like to be quiet.
Right, a befuddled Izuo sees the party turning around and changing directions and follows.
You arrive at the bank of the river, and the sounds are louder. Now you can hear that it is a chorus of voices in concert with one another, chanting at something. But whatever they're chanting at is on the other side of the room. And if they're this loud, or if they've gotten to the point of this loud and you still can't see them, they're probably ogres. Something of ogre volume.
Now that I'm closer and I can hear, I do understand ogre, so I feel like that should be clear to me if this is some ogre chant. Maybe I could even...
They are not words they are making. They are simply...
Okay.
Can we see the ogres at this point, or do we just hear them?
You can hear them upon the other side of the river.
Okay,
Sounds...
so peering from where we are, they're just like, there's a river and then there's trees and stuff. We can't.
Is it hills and rocks
Yeah.
and shit? Yeah.
Well, then I want to continue moving forward until I can get eyes on them. That's my plan, right?
So I guess we walk to the river.
Yeah,
right?
I'm walking as far as I can until either the river stops me or I can see them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you arrive at the edge of the river. There are some downed logs a little bit downriver from where you are that look like they are recently knocked over. I think you were the one scouting the ogres last time around, yesterday. And these downed logs have been downed since then.
Do they create a crossing?
They do, in
Create
a
a bridge?
makeshift bridge. Like, they're loose, they're not attached to anything. Don't get in any trouble on them or have to cross them too quickly, otherwise you might fall into the river.
Okay, but carefully we can cross
If
these
you're not
logs.
in a stressful situation, you can cross without worry. If you're having to cross quickly, it'll be a dex check.
Nix.
Even if you're an ogre, yeah?
Yeah, ogres are not immune to dex checks.
Okay. No, I mean,
What
they
if,
would
uh,
hold
If they
the weight
chase
of an
you-
ogre.
Yeah.
Okay.
what if,
Yes.
right, hear me out. We draw them across the water, and you already have that spell that you cast yesterday, that grease spell. You cast it on the log when they're not looking. We make some attack on them, we wait for them to cross, they all fall in the river, right? Any that make it across, we just make a sprint back to our barricades and try and fight them off there.
If they all nicely line up and walk one after another, yes. If they cross one after another and wait until one of them has passed and we're only going to get one.
Yeah, but they've got no ranged weapons. We could just
I will
attack
say,
them from afar.
when I was chased across the river last night, the ogre did not bother trying to run across any makeshift bridge. He simply swam across the river quite well. I think we may find ourselves in a similar situation.
That's a good argument. If they can swim across and it doesn't work, I suppose, then why would they make a crossing? Just to avoid getting wet, I suppose.
Perhaps for convenience. I know not.
Or perhaps because they brought more weapon and armor this time.
Did they seem more well armored?
You don't see
Not
them.
when I saw them last.
Neal, can you turn your volume up a bit?
Yes. Sorry about that. How is this?
Maybe that's a
Better.
little bit too low. That's better, but yeah.
Down? How about that?
Okay, that
Perfect.
sounds good. Hey, look, we're back across the pipe then. Then what should we do? Do we return back and wait for the attack, or should we continue looking for our shovel so we can shore up the other side of the river? This kind of makes it seem like they're planning to attack the side we want to anyway.
Aren't the fortifications on the north bank? And they're on the south side of the river.
Yeah, but this implies that they're trying to cross to the north side.
But they're assembled down there. I think this is an ogre war chant. They must have selected their champion.
Maybe they're only sending their champion after all in full armor and with a heavy weapon.
Maybe we could do without the shovel?
I mean, you tell me.
I would feel more comfortable if we were well defended, but perhaps the shovel is unneeded. I see no
Yeah, well-
reason why. The powerful mage that we have and the 3 warriors can to take an ogre army seems completely doable to me.
Yep. How much further is it? Next, could we make a run for it now, grab a shovel and head back, or are we still hours away?
Oh, we're really close. I mean, we could grab it from here.
Oh, let's just grab it then and go back.
Fine.
All right. You guys leave the river, head up towards the hills until you come across a cave secluded in the woods. And I will let Nyx describe her cave.
It is a really well-hidden cave. It wouldn't be obvious to see it because it is covered with brushes and rocks. So you have to kind of huddle your way through there, try to squeeze through a little bit. So from the outside, it just looks like a small opening. If you enter, you can see that it's quite dark in here, but I think Manfred is probably there holding a candle. I guess he brought one to hold watch while everything is happening. On the ground of the cave, you see laying down on his back is Kale. He is loosely tied up on his hands and feet with wool, like with some sort of yarn. He is holding in his two hands that are tied together. He's holding a little tarot card, which seems to have something like a small bird on it. Might be a duckling, maybe a tiny swan, hard to tell. And he's just lying there on his back. Manfred is standing next to him holding a candle. And if you look around and you see that the light of the candle falls onto the walls of the cave, and the cave is covered in runes and symbols and in red handprints.
This place looks
Very
nice.
homey.
I'm glad you like it.
Is this your cave, Nyx?
Why? How would you get that idea, I wonder? It's my superior sense of interior decoration, isn't it? Don't worry about it. Manfred, do you still carry the shovel? We would need it. It's kind of an emergency. I'm sorry to bother you here while you're holding watch.
He nods and goes and retrieves the shovel from a spot against the wall and gingerly, carefully walks over to you so as not to like kick any rocks or crunch on any sticks or anything or make any noise that might disturb Kale in his sleep, his trance, his coma, his state.
Is he okay? I whispered to Manfred. Did you tie him up like that?
He asked me to. I think he's safe. He's been very still.
Does he ask to be tied up often at night, Manfred?
This is only day 4 of serving, my lord.
They should pay more for this job, really. Mix has a shovel in her hands. And she'll say, okay, were we pressed for time, or?
Yeah, let's go. I hope Kale's okay. I thought it was bad when I thought you'd eaten him, but now that you've got him tied up in your weird sex torture dungeon, I'm not sure whether I should be even more worried.
It's a lady cave, not a sex torture dungeon. Thank you very much.
I don't know if you're worried.
Almost sounds worse.
I'm
Yeah,
not
it does.
sure if you're worried or jealous, but I'm just going to let you know, if you want to have a proper discussion, we can have it after the ogres eradicated the entire town. How about that?
That sounds good. Let's go.
All right, you guys head back out of the woods, and you see as you arrive at your initial set of fortifications, this long trench that sort of runs from the mountains partway to the river, and have some palisade walls being set up alongside of it. A whole bunch of peasants have arrived, probably from one of the nearby villages. They're observing the trench, the walls. They're pointing at the sky, at the comet up there, chatting amongst themselves. They seem to be curious and not have too many cares in the world. Someone's setting up like a little picnic with some kids. There's a preacher out here telling people about the gods, and everyone's listening enraptured about like, wow, that's what existence is about. Oh, whoa. Sort of just gathering around.
I'll go and listen to the preacher.
Yes. He is telling the definitive truth, the absolute truth of reality and of this world. Let me figure out where we are. Yes.
Because it changes by day, the absolute truth, depending on where we're at.
He's telling you that Eris, the goddess of tranquility, has gone. Actually, we need some preachy-ass music for this. Do we not have like holy temple sounding music?
Yes, we do. I've listened to it when you were listening to it. So,
We just call that we were listening to it.
well, you went through the entire tabletop audio thing and you said this sounds like a holy temple. So, Neal, figure it out. You got it.
Thank you.
Sassy.
You're welcome. I had a rough week. I'm sorry, everybody. It's been a week. Okay, it's been a week.
We all had a rough week, and you don't see us taking it off.
I've already had an
Excuse me?
entire glass of gin and tonic, so you know.
Nice.
All right.
Granted, you are a few hours ahead of us. It's only 11 a.m. here.
Forget it. I can't find it. He is looking at you all, or looking at these people and preaching, saying, thank you. Eris, the goddess of tranquility, has left us. And in her place, her opposite will be arriving soon, Ponos, the god of suffering. You can see him there in the sky. After Ponos arrives, it's only going downhill from there.
Sounds
Velthara,
awful.
the goddess of vengeance, will soon descend upon us as
What?
Agepa, the god of crops and farms, leaves us. No, it's not. Agepa's the god of something else.
The
Hunt,
hunt.
right?
The hunt.
Hunt.
Thank you.
How dare Agepa
who's hunting
infringe
whom?
upon John's holy domain?
This sounds awful, please. Is there any hope at all?
Yes, there's hope. Soon after Velthara arrives, Jexel, the god of luck, wine, and gambling, will be here, and maybe he will come and bless our side. If we are true and faithful to Jexel, he will bring us safety. His arrival will be at the end of the month, or the beginning of next month. The exact date is unknown to us.
How do we please him? Drinking, gambling?
Well, he's the god of wine, luck, gambling. I think we should throw a large feast in Jexel's name. After all, he is the son of Malchus who created us all. I think we should throw a grand feast to please Jexel before he arrives, so he will bless us with his favors upon his arrival.
Perhaps we could hold off on feasting. He is due to arrive in a month's time, yes?
Who are you, an expert of the gods, to question me? No, wait.
You
Who
just
are you?
told me that he was arriving in a month's time.
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you. So, perhaps instead we should honor the one who is here, Malchus, who told us to defend this valley from his sister's wrath. The ogre's coming to destroy us, and rather than worrying about existential threats, perhaps we should deal with what is in front of us first. I have heard the gods bless those who take fate into their own hands. They, would you say, help those who help themselves.
There's some mumbling, some people saying, oh no, a feast sounds a lot easier to do. And there's some other people who are kind of like, well, that makes a lot of sense. And then there's some people looking around like, well, what the fuck does that mean? Your words are taken in many ways, and people are thirsty for more.
If we survive, there may be time for feasting at month's end.
Yes.
These are times of war.
Well, what do
we
you mean
should-
if we survive? I was just born yesterday.
Well,
The
you will
ogres are coming,
survive
you
much
fool.
more if you take this shovel and begin building trenches identical to those on this side of the river.
We should pay homage to Ponos and suffer in silence as we fortify this valley. Now dig, peasants.
8 out of 10 serious this campaign, everybody.
8 out of 10. All right, would you both give me charisma checks? I think they'll work together, so as long as one of you can pass something.
How
And
about you
Oh, they both
Oh.
nailed it.
Wow. and
Holy
I will
moly.
oppose it by the one preacher's charisma check, who will be rolling 1d20 plus 3d6. Wow,
Oof,
not bad.
Easy.
It's actually
He is a preacher.
pretty good
Damn.
charisma.
I mean,
Charisma's
he's
good, but
the
his
preacher for a
roll is-
reason, but
Yeah.
it's hard to compete with my divine grace.
Yeah, both of your natural 16s. The preacher has lost his flock. They take up the shovels and picks that you had lying around.
I mean,
and
he just told them that the god of suffering was here, so they pay homage to suffering and they dig a diggity dig.
Well, when you gotta dig. Oh, old name.
Do we have a way to cross the river here?
No, we have to cross like leagues to the south.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we supposed to get the peasants to the other side to fortify the south bank?
Just lead them across the bridge. We
Yeah,
just saw,
we'll
right?
lead them.
Easy.
We'll lead them south and across. We were
Yeah,
able to
it's
make
the
that
only way.
cross multiple
You mean
times
west
in the
across,
day.
like into the woods at the ogre crossing? Or are we
No.
going?
The enemy's base is up, right? So the forest is
Left.
north. The forest is up, and the
No, it's
city
not.
is south
No,
because
it's
that
not.
makes sense and it makes the world work.
Up is west.
Further to the east, there was a crossing, right?
Just make an O for where the ogres are.
You
on
have to
the
go east and then south and then
Yeah.
back west.
Okay.
Yes. We'll lead them to the other side. Maybe we should try and make our own crossing, no? Near our defenses. So that we're ready to defend either side, depending on where they come. Otherwise,
How
It's
wide is the
it's-
river here?
At this point, I believe it's like 100 feet wide, and moving fairly swift.
I mean, we could build a bridge here. But
should
if we
build a
build a
bridge.
bridge, we don't have time to build fortifications.
Hale's an engineer. He'd know how to build a bridge.
Can you stop me with the whining? He's not going to be here, so we have to figure it out on our own.
Maybe we wait on the bridge.
I
Doesn't
think
take
the
an
talk
engineer
of
to
a
build a
bridge-
trench.
I think the talk of a bridge bores June. So
Yeah.
June like takes off his like leather armor, which he doesn't need to shovel, and just goes and picks up a pick or a shovel or something, and just joins the peasants in toiling and making the enforcements, the reinforcements, the defenses, the something.
I think we lead them east, right, to cross the river so that they can
Yeah.
build the
Yeah.
fortifications on the south banks.
Yeah, we've gone east, southwest, and now it sounds like I'll help June as well. We're going to
Yeah.
start chipping in.
So you guys will head east until you come to the nice shallow fording spot of the river, where it gets nice and wide and shallow enough that you can walk through without having to be swept downstream. Because I don't know if all of you out there watching this spend a lot of time in rivers, but it doesn't take very much river water at a nice click to knock you off your feet, drag you down, bash your heads against rocks, and kill you. So you want to cross at nice shallow places. So 10 miles up, and then back on the other side, arriving at the other end of the other side of the river, on towards the late afternoon. And dig you can.
And we will work into the night
Yeah.
and suffer.
I'm not going to suffer at all. I'm going to cross my arms and just watch the man work away in the sunlight, glistening, sweaty. This is what they deserve, to be honest.
Try not to
I
look
don't
too
want that
sexy. You
either.
might get tied up.
Manfred's not here to tie anyone up, though.
I should have played the Enchantress, goddammit.
Okay.
I think
as
she's just really thinking about how is Ponos the opposite of calmness, right? Ares is calmness.
Tranquility.
Because,
Yeah.
or tranquility, because you can suffer in a very quiet and calm
Yeah.
way, and that is usually a very strong way of suffering as well. So she's kind of thinking about those things, dangling her feet as she's, watching people work away on fortifications.
Well, the sun sets. The people keep working. Malchus shows back up with his friends from their hot springs trip, and he snaps his fingers and creates some bonfires for you guys to watch by or work by. And he actually just hangs out. It is telling stories with people who are taking their breaks, and as they get hungry, he summons food into existence for them to eat, and it just kind of hangs out.
Can you not just magic in the defenses? Malchus,
What's
I'm
up,
hungry.
boss? Yeah.
Anything to eat?
Bam! Chicken salad.
Oh, that's great. Hey, do you think you could do that with this trench that we've been digging?
Are you a little bitch?
Or a bridge, maybe? I
Huh?
might
Are
be,
you a
yeah.
little bitch?
I might be, yeah.
This is your land. These are your people. Are you not willing to defend them?
Delicious chicken, though.
Yeah.
I just look down.
And that's when you hear
then-
it coming from the forest. The ooh, rah, ooh, rah, ooh.
The champion approaches. June, are you ready?
I just nod in your direction, kind of, right? Like a seriousness in my face, and I begin donning my leather
Yeah.
armor again and
I put my chain
Getting-
hauberk back on over my robes.
untying the leather strap that holds my sword. Yeah.
Yeah, strapping on my leather bracers and strapping
Right,
on my
yeah.
shield.
Same.
Stepping out of the woods is a tall ogre. Young one, too. He's not wearing any clothes, but he's covered head to toe in some sort of war paint. He's got like black stripes across the face, red stripes coming down the front, on the like sides of his front, a big white V coming down like his center, from the shoulders to about the base of the solar plexus. In one hand, he carries a spear. In the other hand, he carries a large wicker shield. His feet have some sort of sandals on them, and there's some sort of like leather bindings that wrap up his legs a little bit. But he's also got a little bit more intricate war paint on the sides of his legs and the front of his legs and down his wrists and his forearms. Little details, little designs, patterns. They probably have a lot of symbolism to them, but you'd have to like really get up close to the body and have him not be moving around and trying to kill you to inspect them any further. The solo ogre stands outside of the woods as the chanting comes from deeper within, and he lets out a single war cry, just a single loud ogre bellow, and smashes his spear on his shield.
Right. I reach down to the ground and pick up 3 small stones and mutter some magic words and cast magic stone on them.
Okay.
I believe we have been challenged. This is the champion that I believe the Avatar of Verasi spoke of.
Can we all go?
Just defeated.
What do you have to
I
go
know
by?
not the rules of engagement. We are the chosen of Malchus and the champions of this valley. I see no reason that we could not stand as our representative.
All right.
Poking his head into your little circle, Malchus, you didn't even realize was there, is like, rules are meant to be broken. Who gives a fuck? And steps back out.
Is the ogre on a... What kind of ground is it? Grassland, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's just outside of the woods in the grasslands.
How far away from us is this?
Maybe like 200 yards.
Okay.
Let's gingerly approach. Or maybe not so gingerly. Maybe we should put on a show.
I don't approach with caution. I stride forward to the very, like, as long as there's one of them, I'm down to just fight it in the open. But
Yeah.
when we eventually piss off all the ogres and they come,
Yeah.
that's when we need a defense.
Yeah, defenses.
But
Agreed.
as there's just a single champion, I stride out confidently, sword resting on like my shoulder, as I go to meet the roaring ogre.
We followed behind June. Zual pulling their bronze mask over their face.
What expression is upon the mask?
A fearsome one, a grimace. It is like caricature, monstrous face with tusks and horns.
Sharp, pointy teeth.
Exactly.
Wait, Greg, what's that off?
Monty Python and the whole.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. All right, I swing my flail above my head in a sort of symbol of Malchus.
Okay.
I just put on my goat skull. in my head. Similar as Iswald, turns down their mask. I'm putting down the goat skull over my face.
I
I
believe.
hand the stone to. No one's got range weapons, right?
I have a bow.
I can
but
throw a dagger.
I don't
I think
think I plan on using
before
it.
Okay, I'll keep hold of them.
I think before the fighting begins, I want to issue a challenge basically to the ogre. Less of a challenge and more of a opportunity to not fight, right? I essentially say something along the lines of, you do not need to die here today. Turn back, leave the valley in peace. But if you are so concerned about meeting your maker, step forward, and I will gladly set you back upon your path.
He steps forward.
All right.
Yeah.
And with that, I think combat begins.
I think so. We should
Okay.
roll initiative.
All right. I think I will have left my backpack and bow at the makeshift fortifications
Okay.
and advanced unencumbered.
Can I
Excellent.
get some tokens, Neal, to roll initiative?
Do we have? We don't have tokens for our characters yet. Just throw some initiative dice on there.
Okay.
Sorry.
I think you can still roll initiative without it, right?
Yeah,
You
you can. I didn't realize this
can.
would still work.
Yeah.
You just do it without a marker. Actually, I don't see any initiative. Where do we? Oh, okay, you roll it on the weapon.
Yeah. So we've got
Um,
June and Abaddon.
How do I roll for it? Is there spell initiative?
Yeah, it's next to the
there
spells,
is,
little
yeah.
dice.
Oh, and Izual. Oops.
That's actually a cause fear, not a remove fear.
Got it.
I have that too.
June's at 11. Abaddon's at 12. Zool is 6. And Nyx is 5.
Got him.
The advantage of spellcasting.
And our ogre is also at 5.
Nice.
All right.
So we can speak out of turn, right?
Certainly. Minute-long combat
so
rounds.
Izual is translating the gist of June's statement into ogre.
Ah.
Like, you face June, champion of Malchus and humanity.
Get him, June.
You do not need to die here today. You may turn back and save us all bloodshed.
Ryan,
truly wish
translations are
to
the
meet-
best translations.
If you truly wish to meet your maker, stride forward if you dare. As he's charging down the valley.
Yes. Well, the ogre comes forward only ever so slightly. When you said come forward, he takes the one step. But on the ogre's turn, actually, the Nyx, why don't you say your words first? Since you're tied for initiative.
Nyx.
Well, how far away is the ogre from me?
It was 200 yards, but it sounded like people had moved forward a little bit, so maybe 180 yards.
How much can I walk into my turn?
You can walk 120 yards without any problems. If you want, you can charge them all the way to the front.
Can't move and cast a spell though.
True. I think he's too far away for me to do anything right now. So if he's not, I'm gonna keep walking closer to the ogre, until I'm at. I guess I'm gonna walk my full 120.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't do anything because he's still too far away.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, you close towards the ogre. Izul,
Yes.
you were going to charge
Same
in?
for
or?
me. I wanted to cast a spell, but he's also too far away.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I think I may switch to a different spell that's got a longer range, but I think we're just delaying until we're close enough to actually engage. So
Same
I'll
thing.
walk forward. I think.
Same-
Yeah.
Same thing with you, June and Abaddon. You're just getting closer.
I didn't realize we
Well,
were hundreds of yards away. I assumed we were in like, let's throw down hands. Yeah, so I just, as the ogre steps forward after issuing my challenge, I match his steps forward, right?
So the ogre
with
won
the
initiative.
blade
He just
above
took-
my-
What did the ogre do on his turn?
I just wanted to get the player's action so that way I could properly describe the ogre's thing. It'll make sense in just a moment. I'm not here
Well,
to
I'm gonna
wreck you.
cast Entangle. I mean, I can cast it at 80 yards, and I can cast it in
He's a
between
hun-
us and the
he's-
ogre.
Okay, you're casting Entangle between the two of you. Cool. I just
But
wanted to
he
see
moves
who was,
before- he
if
moves
anyone
bef-
was
he moves
charging.
before I cast, though. I
He
can see
does.
where he goes. And then I can
Yes.
decide where it's cast, right? Yeah.
Yes. But the ogre does not move. The ogre speaks some words, and all of a sudden, the area between you and the ogre is blanketed in a blackness, a darkness, at about 60 yards out from the ogre, or 40 yards out from. It's closer to the ogre than it is to you guys, but just a sphere of blackness about 40 feet across appears in the middle of the combat field between you guys.
So I will cast my Entangle then in front of the. I'm assuming he's going to charge through that, so I want to cast the Entangle as close as I can to the end of the darkness.
Okay. Azul, Nyx, and June approach. Abaddon
I
casts
think-
Entangle.
Yeah, that's fair. I approach to the edge of the entanglement if possible.
Yeah, you can see the grasses weaving and writhing, ready to reach out. And especially if Abaddon calls out something to you about there being an entangled zone.
Well, I mean, he moves way before me, right? So seeing the magics of the earth begin to writhe and prepare to snatch, I think I can walk to the edge of it fairly confidently.
Okay.
Well, my initiative's last, so it'd go after you move, but
Oh, do you really move after me? Okay.
yeah.
Fine.
But I mean, it's still low. I mean, I can then cast it where you haven't moved, right? You move towards in front of the darkness. I'll cast the Entangle between you and the darkness.
Cool.
Yeah.
Entangle actually only has an 80 yard range, so
Yeah.
the darkness and the entangle will actually be separated by like 60 yards or so.
Where is the
quite a large-
darkness cast?
Close to the ogre. Quite close.
I'll do it. Yeah, sure. No, I imagine so. I'll just do it as good as I can.
Perfect. Yeah. You
Yeah.
put it directly between you and the ogre. As far as you can reach, the ogres put the darkness between the two of you guys as well, and the chanting comes from the woods. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah. And I think we go on to round 2.
So we approach. Are we now standing in front of the entangle area? Is that where the party advanced to?
The party can go 120 yards. The entangle is at 80 yards. So you can be in front of the entangle, or you can go past it, which is your choice.
I don't believe we want to be past the entangle. The idea is
Yeah.
to have the tangle between us and the ogre.
So I think we only advance 80 yards. And so we're now, what, like 40 yards? Let's see.
He was 200, so if you advanced 80, you're 120 from him. You're a single combat round away.
Except there's now an entangle right in front of us.
And
Under
yes.
Okay, in the future,
Yes.
like not this combat, just future combats, let's start them not 400 yards apart.
We started
Well, with
200,
spellcasting and the possibility
not
of
start them
ranged
200 yards
weapons,
apart.
but it's an awkward shouting distance, and at
Yeah,
like
like-
twilight, it's.
Yeah, it's all right.
I don't
It's
know
fine.
how far you can see, but
I did not realize when this started we were like shouting across like 2 football fields at this guy.
yeah, I'll endeavor to be more clear about distances.
So, are we rolling initiative?
Yes, we should be rolling initiative.
I
So,
feel
to be
like
clear
I
now,
don't
we
want to.
reckon there's still about
I-
100 yards between us and the ogre, right?
Yeah.
If I wish to declare the action of hold an attack until I see an ogre come within like distance, do I need to roll that initiative or do I just
No, you
declare
can
it?
just go
You-
last. That's fine.
Yeah, that's
Or
what I would
first. He already won initiative last round and didn't get his action, so I think he's like ready to hit anything that comes within his range.
do. I think I used my action last time to walk
Move.
forward.
So you can walk and melee attack.
You can make a half move in melee or a full move in no melee. So
Well,
I
does
thought-
the half move cover the
I
distance?
thought you could make a
between us
full
and the
move in melee
edge?
because you can charge further than your full move and melee attack.
Which is why charge is so broken.
Charge has an attack like addendum to it, right? A charge is a full round action. Movement is a half round action, right? So if you wish to move your full movement and attack, you use the full round charge action. Otherwise, you will have the half round movement action.
All right, so you guys get ready. The ogre gets ready, and sure enough, the ogre will emerge from the darkness. And I should roll its initiative, I suppose. The ogre will go a little more slowly than you guys. I think June is holding his action, getting ready to charge. Abaddon, what are you doing?
I'm gonna throw these stones at the ogre when it gets in range. Although I think I need to. Well, if I can do a half
gonna-
move and still throw them, right? So I'll do
You can do a half move and
forward,
make a half rate of missile attack.
But I'm how many yards away from the rest of the party?
80?
80, more or less.
Yeah.
And a half move as well. Sorry.
60 yards, so you can get within 20 of the party. I don't know what the
I'll
range
do
on your
that.
rocks is.
Like 10
30,
yards.
30 yards.
Okay, that's long range though, isn't it? Or
Doesn't it just says they can be thrown
Okay.
up to 30 yards? Yeah. So
Okay.
I'll get to 20 yards behind everyone else, and wait for the ogre to show up.
Perfect. Rest of the Nyx, what are you up to?
I would like to get within 15 yards of. No, hold up.
is the entangle blocking the whole valley? Does it go from hill to water, or is it?
No, the valley's like 2 miles across.
I imagine it occupies about the same area as the darkness, right? Just like in front of it some.
Yeah.
So I can't feasibly get into like really close to the ogre without stepping into the entanglement. Yeah.
You can walk around the entangle.
Yeah, but then it can. I mean, we're kind of hoping to draw it through the entangle, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
what are you doing, Nyx?
Well, I'll walk to the edge of the entangle and.
That's where we are. I think we're just standing here waiting. Like I'm not rolling initiative. I think I'm not rolling initiative.
Okay.
I'm waiting until
You
Yeah,
guys
I don't
wait
have
for the
anything
ogre to
do
make a
unless
move.
He's close. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the ogre makes their move.
I guess dodge action it is.
Stepping to the edge of the darkness
Yeah.
and poking their head through and observing where the party is, seeing the three of you up front, one of you in the back kind of coming forward, and the ogre will step back into the darkness again.
We wait.
We wait.
Can we spread out a little bit? Just a tiny little. So can I like sidestep it as we're waiting? I don't want to be clumped up with 3 people in front. Because this guy can cast spells, so I'm aware of that. I want to be walking away a little bit. Let's say like, I don't know, 60 feet, 30 feet, 30 feet.
Having like 10 feet of space between the front ranks seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I think that's just a natural.
Yeah.
I'm not a front rank though, so 30
I'm
feet
just
it is.
adding on to. I think what you're saying is smart, Faye. I'm for it. I think that the 3 of
Yeah.
us in the front rank should probably adopt that principle.
Okay. Moment later, you see a mist seep out of the darkness and flow across the ground towards you.
Can we see through the mist?
You can. It is not. It's a little hazy. If you look outside, it's a lot like what's outside your window right now, probably.
It's like living in Portland the last week or so.
Yeah, you can see through it, but it does obscure your vision a little bit.
Okay.
Is it okay? Does it? How high up does it go? You said it seeping out makes me think it's crawling along the ground, but it's like a. Is this like a wall of fog? is it?
It's maybe like a 15 by 15 by 15 sort of like blob. It's not a cube or whatever, but it's sort of a blobby thingy. It sinks low to the ground, maybe not quite touching it, maybe it does touch it, it's just hard to see. But it's a very large blob of gas, mist, fog. something coming your way.
Can we step away from it?
Sure, it's not moving particularly quickly. You have plenty of time to walk away from it if you want.
Should we return to the edges of our defenses? It seems they have no interest in fighting us out here.
Yeah. This feels foolish.
I agree. I think we begin, or at least June begins making his way back to the line of, like, defenses that we've created.
Yeah, I pick up my spear and start walking back,
Yeah,
shouting
I'll
a taunt to
backpedal too.
Ogre as we withdraw. It's like,
Okay.
this is your champion? What are these games? Advance when you truly wish to do combat. And I think we walk back to our defenses.
Yeah. Were you gonna say something, Nyx?
Oh no, I'm backpedaling as well, but I'm not turning my back towards him, right? I'm like slowly start walking back.
Yeah,
Okay.
We're cautiously withdrawing or whatever, but
As you get about to the lines, the mist gets to about where you guys were and sort of stops moving for a little bit and kind of floats around the area where you were before moving horizontally, making like a sharp turn from its initial approach towards you.
I begin stringing my bow.
Neal, could I make a spellcraft check?
Yes.
So the thing is, Nyx doesn't use normal spell crafting, but she's trying to remember if she's ever seen a nightmare where fog behaves like this, and if she can.
Yeah, well, you definitely haven't seen a
reciprocate what might
nightmare where
happen.
fog behaves like this, but you might be able to piece together, based on what you know, what it could be. You've only been alive for like 5 days. You probably haven't had that many nightmares.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know. You tell me how many nightmares
Actually,
you have.
every night she doesn't dream normal. She only has nightmares exclusively.
Jesus Christ, why would you make a character such like...
Because
I guess
that's
Ponos
where
is coming.
That's That's where she draws her power from, and that's how it works.
Terrifying.
I'm sorry. Okay, I can't make a negative. Okay. Bam. 15.
15 is
a
no
natty one, by the way.
bueno. Yeah, it's probably some bullshit.
I'll just not knowingly, as I have no idea what is going on.
Find the thing I'm looking for. It's fine. Guess we don't need it. The rest of the party can arrive back at the trenches that are still being dug. The onlookers watching raptly. Malchus has stopped his storytelling and is observing the battle with some of the other random civilians nearby. And that is when the mist takes a solid form, becoming that of a large painted ogre with a wicker shield and a spear, and breaks into a run in your direction. And now we're only about 60 yards apart, so we can roll initiative for realsies.
The entire mist becomes an ogre,
Yes.
so it's like a 400-foot tall mist ogre.
No, like the 15 by 15 by 15 cube of mist just like consolidates back into the same ogre shape that you saw earlier. The same
Oh, it's like a big misty step. I see. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Something like that. So let's roll initiative.
Is that the same ogre, or is this some illusion?
He's got the same paintings on himself. Right? There's no way the ogre could fool you with an illusion. Illusions aren't real.
I mean, he also does make sound as he's walking, right?
That's a very good question.
I can spend my turn trying to figure that out if you want me to.
Just delay your initiative
just-
by a short bit, maybe? Like give yourself +1, +2 to initiative?
To roll a saving throw versus
Give
spell or
myself a
something?
+2.
Just to like, try to identify the sounds on the ground or whatever.
Yeah.
Taking a chance to not focus on combat on your life. Well, Abaddon, you are the first to go. You have these magic stones in hand.
Not in range. I've got to wait for the ogre to get in range, but I'll throw as soon as he does.
Yeah, the ogre is like charging at you guys, so he will be within range partway through the. You can just make your first throw attack now.
All right. It's not on my card sheet, so gotta just do it the old-fashioned
Yeah,
way.
the old fashion. D20
Got no
plus
basic attack bonus, right?
0.
Cleric.
Yep.
No strength bonus.
Does the
Yep.
magic stone not give you an additional to hit?
No, it counts as a +1 in terms of like getting through magic armor,
But it's
to
not.
hit. Okay.
yeah,
Fair enough.
that's a 3. It goes wide.
You're not very good at throwing rocks.
Apparently not.
Nyx, you definitely hear the sound of grass crunching underneath his feet. He's real.
Right.
Or a really complicated illusion.
He's real, or somebody really has a skill down with illusions.
Yeah.
There is no way anyone is more powerful an illusionist than you. The Rocky Boxing Ogre was a masterpiece. It will be hailed in stories to the end of days, this I am sure.
Yeah,
Well-
together with me eating everybody who's friends with me, but it's fine.
You didn't eat it. We disproved that one.
It's your turn, Nyx.
Unless he's a really good illusion, I guess. Okay. I have my I have my goat skull down. So he's stepped in front. He's now in front of the darkness and the entanglement. Is that correct?
Yes, and is barreling towards you, naked as the day he was born, wicker shield in one hand, spear in the other, war paint head to toe.
Okay. And he's barreling, yeah. So I'm going to approach him from my side, walk towards him quickly, pick up in speed, and when he's close enough, I'm gonna sidestep him so he doesn't charge straight into me. And gonna throw a dagger into his side if I can.
Okay. Well, he was charging for June, so you go towards him and to the side, and he does ignore you. June's the one who called him out, and you can get a dagger attack at his side.
Okay. I don't think I have any throwing.
I think you were at
Modifiers. I think it's-
+0, except for the +1 for flank
15?
attack.
Plus
you-
116?
16, and you are on his side, so he does not have his shield, so a 16 is a hit. The dagger sinks
2
into the
damage.
side of the ogre for 2 points of damage. 1. Let's roll his hit points.
Oh, it looks like he only has 2 hit points. Yay!
Champion has risen, everybody.
All right. The ogre suffers the 2 points of damage, and it is. I have an HP bar for you guys, but it is like less than 10% of his HP. Azul.
What would the initiative penalty be for switching to a spear, which was the same initiative speed?
From a spell?
No, from a. So I was getting my bow ready, but if he's charging,
Yeah,
mean,
why don't you
let's
just
just set
add
the
your
spear to
spear speed to your bow speed initiative?
never mind. Sorry, so then I would go after him. I was like, if he's charging, I would set to receive a charge in front of June, but it sounds like I can't do that in time, so I'll just shoot him in the face. For 1 point
Excellent.
damage.
Got him.
I have a question when he takes his turn for you to consider. We've set up trenches and like defenses here that we have retreated behind.
Yes.
Are we going to be able to take advantage of those on when he attacks us here?
Yes, you're standing behind the trench, and I think we described the trench as like a 5x5x5 cube that the shovel creates with earth. So it's sort of, it's a reasonably deep trench, but he's
In fact,
also
he can't even charge.
also like a 10-foot ogre. So the trench could be a huge factor if he can get stopped at that, but if he runs and just like leaps across the trench or can reach over the trench, like
Seems like an athletics check or something. So typically you need a straight line to charge. If there's a trench in the way, you can't charge. Like you'd run to the trench and have to circle around it, or do some feat of athletics to leap over
I
it.
think that either Yeah, I think
he
that
just-
some kind of athletics check might be in order, or like if he just like attacking from 10 feet away, maybe perhaps some kind of like bonus to AC.
Absolutely,
think-
these are all very reasonable things.
You can't attack from 10 feet away unless it's like a long spear or something. So I guess we'll see what he does on his turn.
I mean, we've seen
which it
monsters
is.
with very long arms in Neal's world. You should remember this.
Not a vampire. We're fine. Don't worry about him.
Oh, he is now. So Azul, you take a shot. A 16 at the front of the ogre is actually going to be a miss. It'll
What?
sink into his
he's
wicker
charging,
shield.
so he gets a penalty.
Oh, he does get a
How does he have-
penalty of 1 to his AC. Yeah, it's still gonna be a miss.
No.
Yeah, if he's got a
How?
shield. Ogres have base AC 15, shield gives 2, and this ogre has base AC 16.
Shield gives 1 unless he's got a combat style or something like that.
He's a champion.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Keep your 1 HP, Neal.
thank you.
It's
I
dark.
appreciate it.
It's dark. He can't see in the dark. He gets a -2 penalty. Oh, I guess it's not dark. It's twilight.
Twilight.
It's not night, is it?
No, it's late in the afternoon. It's on towards evening. This all happened as the sun was going down. It does not look like ogres have infravision.
No, they don't.
Well.
But I guess it's not quite dark.
Not quite enough. The arrow sinks into the wicker shield. The ogre's run continues, and he will do a feat of athletics. And more than that, he's really not concerned about his safety, it seems, because when he gets towards the trench, he is going to like throw himself over it in a leaping attack, which if it misses or fumbles or like rolls really poorly, could end up with him like falling into the pit and breaking his ankle, or something of that kind.
Let's
So-
hope for that outcome.
Okay.
Why? Because if he hits, it's not looking good, is it?
But he does not trip or break or fall his ankle. He will leap over the pit, spear in hand, and roll
Hold on. June is. Oh, I guess we moved last round. So like he's been ready with his sword for like 3 rounds. But
That is true. June, you did have a readied action. I think you've been sort of sitting here waiting, ready for this charge. So go ahead and make me attack before the ogre lands.
Okay. Awesome.
Gotta
So
kill him,
he's
Brooke.
leaping at me, right? Is he like bearing down shield forward, like trying to push that in front of himself, or is he like two-handed spear, like I'm gonna get
No,
this
he's got
guy?
the shield in one hand, the spear in the other, and as he's leaping over, he's doing the like leap and, you know.
And so he's turning with his shield. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
so
take my
reach as
sword and
far.
drag it forward. And I'm going to like try to pull a very like sweeping underneath attack as he's diving at me to try to evade where his shield's coming from.
Well, make me that roll to hit.
All right. That is a 9. So it doesn't matter.
No, the sword comes up and like gets stuck on a rock and just comes up a little too slowly for the ogre, for you to
Yeah.
hit the ogre. He will land before you and spear you with a 19 to hit.
That will hit.
Dice or
Crits by
total?
5 if
Insta
he
kill.
rolled an 18.
He did not roll a natural 18, unfortunately.
Okay.
Good.
He still does like 2d4 plus 6 damage or something.
Yes, he does. He does 1 + 2 + 6, which is 9 points of damage. A
Alright.
wonderful
Not
blow
dead
that just
yet.
runs June through with the leg and the hip area, going out through the socket of the hip and out the other side. And I think June topples backwards as the ogre lets out a vicious roar. And we roll initiative.
Second attack.
Second attack.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I've got 2 attacks.
Throw him.
Right. Can I circle around to avoid his shield?
Not make 2 attacks because you get half attack rate if you use your move action. You need to like move to the other side of the pit or whatever.
Okay.
Oof.
Okay, they both miss.
Terrible attacks. Let's roll
And we
initiative.
still hold up. Can we still reach him even though he moved now? Because he's moved away from me now, hasn't he?
He
Or
has
is it,
moved
like,
away
all
from
of
you.
the
Yeah,
same?
he's like 10 yards from you at this point,
Right.
on the other side of the pit.
Just 10 yards.
Yeah, not
Can
very
you still
far.
throw? Is that still medium range for a dagger? I believe.
It's
Hold up.
short range for a dagger.
Okay. Well, I get a second dagger, right? Two.
Oh no, you only get your second
Right.
dagger if you took no move action, but you did move closer to get behind him.
I guess that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Okay.
Let's declare actions and roll initiatives.
I'm gonna try and pull June away from the fight and patch him up.
Do you have healing spells? Oh, you are a
No.
cleric. You're not the water wizard.
No,
Oh,
I
but you don't have healing
I don't
spells.
have healing spells, but I
He
do
does
have
have first aid.
and healing, so I can stabilize him.
Is the fallen celestial not going to heal him?
Not yet.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Okay.
We've
Nyx
got an
is
ogre to take care of.
9. Azul is 7. Abaddon is 9. June is unconscious. Azul and Ogre simultaneous.
What? How does he roll so well?
You rolled a 1 plus 6.
Yikes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm casting light on his eyes, and he has to close to me. So I think if this goes off, he will be blind when he attacks. So,
Yep.
give me a saving throw versus spell.
Natural 2. He is blinded. The twilight is diminished. It brightens as light shines out from the ogre, who screams. His eyes are like this milky white now, and he can't see anywhere. His arms thrash about, his shield covering his front, the spear poking this way and that. And now he makes his attack roll. I think
At
he was
what?
going.
I would like to move as I'm casting my spell, or after
Yeah.
I finish casting the spell.
I think he was going to step towards you, the one who spoke his language.
And he looks to me. He sees the light forming as a halo above my head, and then expanding to take up his entire vision.
It's -4 to hit. So he rolls. Is it just -4? Yeah.
Just -4. I guess since we went at the same time, he can probably attack where I am. I feel like if I could move, he wouldn't be able to target me. But
Right, but you
this
guys
round,
rolled simultaneous initiative.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he will roll a modified 16, and your AC is just barely higher. So the ogre comes in to stab you. You move just as the darkness or the light ascends on his eyes. His thrust is a miss. Abaddon takes his turn.
All right, now that he's moved to fight Israel, I run up to June and stabilize him.
You have first aid, no checks necessary. June will make it through this night. Nyx.
So I saw the ogre rush past me with his weapon and shield in hand.
Yeah.
How does it seem like his shield is? Is he holding it, or is it strapped to his arm or something?
It looks like it's being held in hand. So if you were to make a good strength check, you could rip it off or something like that.
Could I make a cold shot against his fist? Because he's currently blinded, right? Which is highly confusing. So I want to try to seize the moment and try to hit him in the hand. So he might let go of his shield if I'm lucky.
If you hit him in the hand, he'll make a saving throw to not drop his shield.
Okay.
Cold shot
what
is
do I
going to be
roll?
-4 to hit.
But +4 for the blindness. So
But
just a
+4 for the
regular attack
blindness, so
roll.
it'll be
Just
a
a
flat. Yeah.
19!
And it still does damage, right? It's still a crit with damage, but the called shot was to get the saving throw
Well,
in
it
addition.
doesn't clear by 5, so it's not a crit, but it will do D4 damage plus the saving throw.
So I roll 1d4, yeah.
Yeah.
1 damage. It's something.
Save versus death.
Yeah. I keep moving his HP
From
dice
the
because
one
they
dagger attack.
just look like random dice on the table, and then I look for them again, and they're changed. He has about this much HP.
God. DM hacks.
About that much -2, Neal. Please do not forget.
Oh, I mean, counting your dice. Yep.
-4,
Yoga
right?
Takes another point
2
of
damage from a
damage.
dagger, 1 from an arrow, 1 from another dagger.
4 on the death save, drops his shield
Nice.
with a cry of pain. And Abaddon's already gone. We're gonna roll initiative. Ooh. Ogre is going to not pick up his shield.
Do I cast that as well, or should I just try and attack him?
Yeah, we'll try this. Ooh, slow initiative for him today. Azul fears with a 2. Abaddon is gonna flail with a 12, and Nyx is gonna something with a 10. What's your something?
Yeah.
Dagger?
Do you get an just technical question? Do you get an OA if you can't see somebody?
No.
Okay. I would like to run and pick up
Did you pick up the daggers that you threw at him?
the shield.
Oh, pick up the shield. Totally.
Run past, swipe the shield, and move back.
All right, we'll move your initiative to 11, 3 for the movement, and Azul will go first.
That is a cause fear, not a remove fear, and he
I
needs
hear
another
it.
saving throw.
A 4 on the die again. I need it. This die has been rolling so many 4s. It needs to go in
The
timeout.
ogre will flee in panic at maximum movement rate for D4 rounds.
Oh my god.
This is your champion. I taunt an ogre.
This interrupts
Hoisting a spear
spell.
to get my attack of opportunity. Yeah, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, it interrupts his spell. He turns, he flees. You can make it a stab at him.
Nyx maybe can too. I don't know.
Nyx has not gone yet, and she was at
spear.
range. Yeah.
I was next to June's body. Is that close enough? Does he run past me?
Yes, if you're next to June's body and you have a weapon in hand, then you can make your attack roll.
I will.
And he's blind. He's probably running straight into a pit and tripping
Yeah.
and breaking an ankle.
So I'm getting back attack here, and he's blind eye. So
They're the
Yeah,
same
so these
thing. Or they don't stack.
Yeah, so it's just +4.
Yeah.
17.
Ooh, 16. He has no shield anymore. So
He has
that's
no shield, so a
blinded.
16 is all that you
16
need.
for me.
116, 117, you both hit.
Yeah.
What does this Zodiac Spear do?
44 damage.
Seriously?
Yeah, I wasn't kidding you. I mean, I was kidding you. I was just trying to slow roll you on
You
it.
just, like, now I don't even want to go recollect my flaming sword.
What the
This is
fuck?
better than any weapon I'm ever going to find.
Well, maybe. I mean, Malchus
damage
gave it to you, right? There's got to
Yeah.
be a drawback to it somewhere. Whoa! That is a lot of damage.
It's only 1 above average.
It is this much damage. And Ryan, would you go ahead and make me a saving throw versus death?
Oh, God. There is a drawback.
Of course, there's a drawback. That's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. New drawback today. So the ogre begins to flee. Nyx, you can run up towards the ogre as he's like turning around, trying to flee. And you're going for the shield, right?
Yep.
Yep. You can grab it. Do you have a weapon in hand, or did you throw all your weapons away?
I have 5 daggers, so I still have a dagger to go with.
Then you too can make an opportunity attack as the ogre flees in panic.
Nice. I don't know what the modifiers are, but I'm not gonna hit anything.
That definitely
anyway, so-
doesn't hit. Give me a D20 for your death save, Nyx. This is like the second or third natural one you've rolled today.
Listen, if nobody's watching.
Everyone's
18.
watching. Okay, it's fine. Fine.
Also an 18 and a 19. Okay, I don't give a shit about this.
The ogre takes off. We're gonna roll a D8, see which way he goes.
I think it specifies. Well, I guess
yeah,
he's
he runs
blind, so
away
maybe
from
he's lost and
you.
confused.
Yeah, he's not sure where it's coming from. He's like magically afraid, but he can't see the source of his fear. So he does run back the direction he came. He will run right into the pit and make a saving throw versus death to not fall prone. And if he fails badly, maybe something worse. 7 on the die will cause him to trip into the pit, stumble, and fall. Abaddon, the ogre, is now in a pit and blind. So now you have +8.
All right, it's time to just smash his head in with the flail then.
Yeah, because he's blind and prone.
Okay, let's go. You ready for this now?
Yeah.
Oh, my coach is so ready.
Natural 1.
12.
Close.
Still can't hit him.
Your flail smashes on the ground as the ogre like rolls to the side, trying to get back up and get away. How long does the fear last, Ryan?
Funny you should ask. D4 rounds, so 3 rounds.
Okay. The 3 of you can roll initiative. The ogre will go at 6. No, he goes at 9 as he flees. Zool gets a 6. Nyx is a 4. Abaddon is a 16. All right, Nyx, you are the first one. You've got his oversized shield. You've got your dagger and your spells.
All right. So is he on his back? Like on his back on the pit? In the pit,
Yeah, so
or-
he fell into the pit and he was on his belly, and then he was like trying to roll to get out of the pit, and so now he's still prone and blind, so you still have +8 to hit him.
Okay. I will take my dagger. I'm gonna try to jump onto him with an attack so that my weight weighs him down. And he can't stand up as easily while he's still prone. You know, and just like jump onto
Wrestling
him
an
with the dagger
ogre?
to attack him. Yeah, I mean not
A
wrestling.
dangerous
That's like
game.
you're jumping on
Yeah.
top with the dagger. Well, Yoon is already unconscious. You know, we only have so many defenses. So
Throw yourself at him.
what is it? Just
D20 +8.
80 plus 8 is a 26. Neal.
Nice.
Oh, you clear by
Clears by
10 exactly. You do 3 times damage dice to the ogre.
So that's 3d4.
Yeah.
8 damage.
The ogre is barely alive at this point when Azul steps forth with his Zodiac spear.
Get him.
Oh, Neal.
Oh, no.
I included the +8 already, but
Yeah, you
gonna be
did.
so
Roll
much damage.
me 12d4.
What is this? What is this? That's
Zool.
dirty, Ryan.
taunts an
Feel
ogre.
bad.
This is your champion, Barassi.
Oh my god.
And a 10.
You run the ogre all the way through,
And I make a saving throw versus death.
and you make a saving throw versus death.
I fail. Do I run myself through too?
We'll find out on the other side of our break. Bye-bye.